even those who don't do strategy as in strategy, there's a reason why they're making the decisions that they're making. Like an idea would it has different inroads, different outroads, things both
Yeah,
positive and negative, things that
yeah,
that is that are. So you see
yeah.
people that design an idea and eventually it looks like a penis.
All right, guys, welcome once again to another episode on the Creative Radio. And today I have with me our OG in the brand design industry, Mr. Tunji Ogunoye.
Yeah,
welcome, Mr. Tunji.
thank you so much. Good
It's
to
so
be
nice
here.
to have you here. It's so nice to have, an expert like you come share knowledge and, advice we that were coming up in the industry, and for you to, tell us about how you came up, the things you did, and just help us have a smoother path, because the industry, even especially in this part of the world, is not beans, right?
Yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of things, people need to know a lot of things, they need to put a lot of things in place, and I'm sure we're going to cover all that today. So thank you so much
yeah.
for being here.
Thank you
And
for
can
asking me,
you
Toby.
can you please start with like a brief introduction of yourself for those that are new to this channel and don't really know who you are?
Okay, yeah. My name is Tunji Ogunoye. You can call me OG.
Yeah.
I'm a designer, a brand designer. Currently living in the UK. Yeah, but my work is still very much active in Nigeria and Africa. I work as a design director at Fort
Okay.
Canvas. Fort Canvas is a brand consultancy agency.
Okay.
Um, yeah, specializing in strategy, design, and management, as it says, and management as it says. So I also do some work for a couple of global organizations,
Okay.
yeah, as well. So yeah, that's who I am, or that's what I do. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I mean, you're a design director at Fort Canva. That is huge, man. Seriously, that's
yeah,
like what a lot of people are looking at. Oh, I want to be a design director. I want to be a partner of this place, this and that. And the truth is, it takes a lot of work, right? It takes a lot of years working, doing things, and you proving yourself and improving your value and your skill in the industry for
yeah,
you to get to this point. So let me take you back a bit, right? Because let's start from the basics.
yeah.
What inspired you to actually, start design and pursue a career in design?
So I mean, I think I probably stumbled on design, but I
Okay.
mean, so back in university,
Okay.
I just discovered I loved. I mean, reading signboards. Just
Okay.
go to the sign. I think from OAU, and if you know OAU, well, there are a lot. Everywhere you get to, you see a signboard. You
Signboard.
see posters, press releases, and the like. So yeah, I just find myself just captivated about design, about how colors, shapes, and all those things, how they interact. And then I
Okay.
had an opportunity to do an ASU strike to learn, to pick it up. And then, yeah, I learned it. That was CorelDRAW 2013. Yeah,
Wow.
2013, I was doing an ASU strike. And
Yeah.
then picked it up, learned it. I went to a church member of mine in Akure, then I grew up in Akure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at that time, I didn't even know what I was getting into because the height of what I knew about design then was
Yeah.
prints. Maybe prints,
Oh.
maybe some DPs on BlackBerry,
Oh. Okay.
BlackBerry.
Yeah. Back then, BlackBerry was still
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
never used a BlackBerry though, but yeah, DPs on BlackBerry,
Yeah.
prints, design, flyers, posters, programs, magazines. So that was like the height of what I
Okay.
thought design was. So then
Yeah.
I picked it up and went back to school 2014 January. It was a 6 month strike. And then
Okay.
just started playing with it. Just started upping
Yeah.
my roommates, upping my friends to get to design their proposals, design this. And then
Okay.
little by little started getting more projects on campus, became like
Ah, that's
quite,
nice.
maybe not so popular, but at
Yeah.
least people that knew me then knew that I was a designer. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
then did you finish from OAU?
No, no, no. I didn't
Okay.
finish from where.
Where did you finish from? Where did you finish from?
So the thing is, I'm actually still in school doing DLI
Ah,
in Unilag.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, so the DLI program is like weekends, with school weekends,
Yeah,
and
interesting.
write our exam once in a year. I'm
I
hopefully
had no
they
idea.
don't strike. I'm going to graduate next year.
Interesting.
Hopefully if they don't
Interesting.
strike.
I had no idea.
So a
So,
lot of people think
yeah,
I've finished school, but
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've known you for like 4, 5 years,
yeah,
at least
yeah,
more than 4 years, maybe like
yeah,
5 years. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
never knew that you were still in the program. So yeah, then I started doing designs, posters for events, jotters
Yeah.
for induction, and then that was it. That was how I picked up design. And then I met some people on campus. I met Tunde Ferrico, Ferrico. Um, I met Mary as well on campus.
Oh,
I met
okay.
Lotto, Scotty, like a lot of us, and
Yeah.
Toby. We had this club on campus, we call it campus.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, it was like my team on campus there. And we were talking about design. Tunde was really, really influential in my career.
Oh, that's nice.
Tunde Ogunoye, very cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was just from there after school. I knew that okay, I didn't want to do what I studied in school. I knew that I wasn't feeling up to it, and I saw design like an escape. I saw
Oh,
design
okay.
like something that I probably enjoyed doing
Yeah.
more. Well, my lecturers knew I was designing. I designed for lecturers, and like
And then,
everybody I needed to know I was designing knew that I was designing.
yeah.
Fellowship, hostel, department. I mean, I remember one time, probably 2013, yeah, maybe 2014. There was an election on camp on my department, and
Yeah.
probably maybe 80% of the election posters, I designed them. President,
Oh,
Gen
that's
Z,
great.
two people are voting against each other. I designed posters for the two of them. So,
Yeah.
like, I was really, really into design, and
Yeah.
then I just knew that. I mean, but at that time, I didn't know how big design was. To be honest, I had no idea. I had no idea how big design was. I just
Oh,
thought
okay.
design was something I could still do on the side. I studied physiotherapy on campus, so I'm a medical
Wow.
practitioner.
Therapy.
Yeah, physiotherapy. So I
Wow.
mean, I did not practice medical, medical. What do I call it now? Medical graduate.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
medical graduate.
therapy graduate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, that was it. Then after school, Tunde, my friend, Tunde got a
Yeah.
job with a design studio in Lagos.
Oh, okay.
I was there for a month. I was in Ife. He was in Lagos. He worked for a month, and then he came back to Ife. He studied architecture, so he came back to Ife
Oh,
to
cool.
continue his master studies. And then
Yeah.
he told me that like design is a big deal in Lagos. Like I love working in this agency. You should try working in
Yeah.
an agency. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, interesting. He actually recommended me for the job he left, but I
Oh,
wasn't going
okay.
to go to Lagos. Nobody will allow me to go to Lagos to work. Nah, I was even if they were allowed me, I wasn't feeling up to going to Lagos. But I've always seen Lagos as they put Lagos to me like Lagos was a big deal. Like if you're
I
working on
see.
the guy is not taking, they can slap your face, collect your respect. Yeah, Lagos to me was like, nah, I'm not a Lagos person. So I
Okay.
wasn't going for the job. So I went back to Akure after school. And then just on a
Yeah.
fateful Saturday, I just got a call from Victor. It was July 16, 2016. Got a call from Victor. And then it was like, oh, that Fourth Canvas is moving to Akure and they would like to get IA designer in Akure and am I available? It was like a dream because 6 months before that time, December of the previous year, I was supposed to
Yeah.
meet with Victor in
Yeah.
Akure, but he forgot about our engagement and traveled to Ife.
Wow.
So that was how I had his phone number on my phone, saved on my
Oh,
phone.
okay.
But
Okay.
we've not seen before. We've spoken a few times on Instagram. I was supposed
Yeah.
to see him prayer, but we didn't see. So he just called me that, oh, am I willing to pick up the job? And I was like, okay. So apparently Tunde, the same Ferrico,
Yeah.
recommended me for the job because
Oh,
Victor knew Ferrico. He was visible online. He was doing logos. So he just called him
yeah.
that, are you open to move to Akure or come to Akure to work with us at Fort Camas? And said, oh no, I'm in school. I'm doing my masters, but I have someone who lives in Akure who is probably up to the task. Just
Yeah.
just just doing the job. Yeah. So Victor called me, and then that was it. I started working in Fort Camas that day, and that was how
Wow.
like I understood.
Everything. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I was properly brought into the world of design and its impact and how big it is. Yeah, yeah.
So when you came into the industry, right? Because I see a certain pattern. I see a certain pattern with most designers. There's always that one person that will refer you even when you're starting. That
Yeah.
because like me, it was Emmanuel, right? Even me getting into the advertising space, Emmanuel had already been doing design and all, and he went to Orange Academy,
Yeah.
and the knowledge he got there he shared with me because
Yeah.
me I couldn't go to Orange Academy at that time, but after a while I started getting him refer me to people because he was seeing the type of work I'm doing, see that
Yeah.
oh this guy is serious about this thing, is learning, is getting better, and when the time came, he got a call from Joshua Rebele for
Yeah.
him to come to the advertising space. And he was like, no, he doesn't want advertising, the advertising industry, this and that. He doesn't want that stress. He then called me. I was like, Toby, would you like to work in an agency? And me, I'd been praying. Ah, God, I
Wow.
had been praying that
That
God,
was where that was 2021 or 2022.
yeah, yeah, 2021. I had been praying that I want to work in an advertising agency because the other jobs I was doing, they were like startups, and
Yeah.
something will happen. They owe you money for 3 months. The company will crash. I was just like, God, I beg. I need an advertising agency. When I got that call, I was not like, I was like, yes, yes, I want this. That was how, and then got into Isoba, work with Isoba, and
Yeah.
it's just history with how far we've come,
I see.
and
Wow. Yeah.
it's just very, very good. Just to have that one person that
Yes. Yes.
at
Yes.
first
Yes.
will bring you into the space you need to be, and then you go for further and you do your thing and you do well and you keep building your career.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good. Very, very good. So when you got into Fort Canva, right? How was it like at first? Was it because I know you've been there ever since that time,
Yeah.
right? And nowadays we see people be like, "Oh, guy, Omo, if I work in this place for like 2 years, I want to move to another place. Oh, let me just do 3 years, yeah." Because now you've been there for a very long time, right? Was it immediately when you got there you were like, okay, I think I'm at a place where I want to, sit down, build my career in this place, and let's see how it goes? Or was it further along the line?
So I mean, for me then, so funny enough, when Victor spoke to me then July, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I can only do this job for 3 months or for a
Wow.
while. Yeah, because I wanted to go. So in physiotherapy, when you're done with school,
Yeah.
when you're done with all your exams and you've passed, you do an
Yeah.
induction. The induction is
Yeah.
like the ceremony, like convocation, but induction.
Oh,
Then after
okay.
induction, then you can start applying for internship positions where you do a 1 year internship in an hospital.
Oh, okay.
Not in hospital, like accredited hospital. So I finished exam in April. I think maybe March 31st April.
Yeah.
Then I was just floating, just waiting for induction. You understand?
Oh, okay.
The induction came in September. So by July, I told you that once I do induction, I'll probably have to leave um to go for internship. Of course, internship was paying me that internship was paying me like 5 times what I was earning at Fort Campus, as it will pay me like
Wow.
five. Because internship is proper civil servant job. Like you're
Yeah.
probably on a very good level. I think then I
Yeah.
was earning like 120K as an
Wow.
intern.
That time.
Yeah. And I wasn't any up to that at Fort Canvas. So I just told you, I'll go for internship. Oh. Yeah, I'll probably go for internship by in 3 months. So this is like 3 months contract. I said no problem. I should just like get on the team. So yeah, I
Yeah.
was, and then I joined the team. I was working on projects. So there was a project, the presidential election. Um, in our past, we don't do all those kind of projects now again. But yeah,
Yeah.
presidential election, and then it was that morning that the project came in. That was everything there to hire Zana as like
Oh,
as an emergency. So he called me, and so yeah, I started working on that project, and
okay.
then doing flyers, doing comics materials, designing comic
Yeah.
materials, designing decks, and all those stuff. And I was really, really like I was loving it, designing logos as well, designing different logos, brand assets, business cards, logo
Yeah.
manual. That's what we called it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was really enjoying it. And 3 4 months in, I was already like a very, very important part of the team. You understand? I was
Wow.
already like I was already. I mean, 6 months after I joined Ford Canvas, I became design lead, and the design lead because I was just the most
Yeah.
senior designer on the team after
Yeah.
Victor. And then I was like
Yeah.
in charge of, oh, maybe someone needs, they are stuck on what they are doing. They need someone to
Yeah.
talk to
Yeah.
me and
Yeah.
crank through problems together. So, and then that was it. January. So I did the induction. It was just a day event in Ife. I think we went for like 2 or 3 days. Did the induction
Yeah.
in September. I was now waiting for internship. Internship did not come. So I was just a fourth canvas. Internship came in May of 2017. That was like 8 months, 9 months into my time at fourth. No, like 10 months into my time at fourth canvas. And I
Oh.
was like, I mean, I can do this remotely. So let me go to so my internship is in Owo. Owo is 30 minutes from Akure. But I was living in Owo. It wasn't I wouldn't be doing to and fro Akure every day. So I was living in Owo. Second I was in Akure. And I was like, okay, let me work remotely. So I was working remotely,
Yeah.
maybe on weekends or once in a while during maybe public holidays. Because I mean, it's
Yeah.
a government job. There is no
Yeah.
way you have to be in the hospital 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
nothing I can do about that. If I only
Yeah.
even do call, because we used to do call duty, call at
Yeah.
times in the hospital till evening, maybe till like maybe 7 or 8. Then weekends, so also in the hospital, you're on
Yeah.
call on weekends. So yeah, so there's no way I could have been combining working at Fort Canvas fully on site. So I was working
Yeah.
remotely, and in the hospital there wasn't a lot of work. So most of the time by 12, you're probably done with your work. And in case that maybe you don't even have things to do in the clinic, you're just in
Yeah.
outpatient. It can probably be done by maybe 11 or even earlier. So once I'm
So
done on my laptop designing,
designing.
doing personal project, doing my personal project. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it just felt like there was no way I was going to finish
Yeah.
internship, moved to Lagos for NYC. I was still in Fort Canvas. I was still working remotely. And then by the
Yeah.
time I was done, so around 2018, Fort Canvas started doing like maybe 2017, we started doing like branding proper. Like we
Oh,
started
okay.
doing, that was when we probably did, Titan Trust Bank was 2018, 2019. Big US was
Yeah.
2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, ABC, the Future Awards Africa, that was
Yeah.
2017, 2016. So yeah, we started doing like proper branding work. And I was probably, I loved that. I wanted to do that. I felt like my strength was
Yeah.
in that area. So there
Yeah.
was no way for me to go. And then also, Fort Canvas became more than a place of work. It became like family. Like
Oh.
my best friends, a lot of my best friends, I met them like working at Fort Canvas, Victor,
Working at Fort Canvas.
AJ, Mary,
Yeah.
like Mola, like we met working at Fort Canvas. So it
Yeah.
wasn't just working, it wasn't just working again. It was like, oh, I was just with my guys. We were just doing cool stuff together. You understand?
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Victor was to say a lot of these stories, but when we were in Akure, we were just enjoying ourselves. We were enjoying the work we were doing.
Yeah.
We'll leave the office, we'll go to eat amala at the junction, back. I mean, we were doing good work, we were being paid. I mean, not a lot of money, but it was good money then for us. You
Yeah.
understand? So yeah, so it was really, really, so that's how I transitioned from. So it wasn't like, and as maybe 2020, 2021, it became like I mean the work within our fourth canvas became really really like intense, and then we also became used to one another. So it wasn't the case that nobody was on your neck that, oh, you have to do fourth canvas project alone, you can't do another project, you can't take an
Yeah.
external,
Yeah.
this that. It's always been like that. Like, you're doing your work, just make sure you do the
Oh,
work.
that's actually a nice like
Yeah,
work.
nobody was looking. In fact,
Like
funny enough, if you have personal projects then and you bring
eh,
it to me, we'll help you brainstorm on it.
ah.
And not things like, oh,
I mean,
color,
these things you
type,
can write in your
yeah,
places. Oh, you'll be
yeah.
like, why are you doing personal projects in
Nah,
your office?
podcast has never been like that. Never been like
Wow,
that.
that's actually a very. I mean, I want
Yeah,
people to hear this and then see that there's more to building a team. Like, if I
nah,
can bring my personal project to you and you help me,
yeah,
why would I even think of leaving your company in the first place
yeah.
when I know
So like there
there are
was
guys that
exactly that was what we're doing.
that
It
I
was it
mean,
was really really like really really um it was really really good work that we're doing, to be honest, and
yeah,
we enjoyed it. Like it was, I mean, we still enjoy it. So it was more like, well, it left working for a company in that sense, as it were, to working with your friends. You
Yeah.
understand? Yeah, to working with your friends. So it was really good. It is really good. You understand? It's really really good.
Yeah, I mean, very, very, very nice. And I mean, I like the fact that the work environment you were was, very free and not too uptight
Yeah.
to being like, oh yeah, this, that. No,
Uh,
it was very, very free. And then another thing I want to say is that the fact that you work with people and you grow with them, you guys do things together,
yeah.
definitely your skill set and everybody will know what everyone can do.
Yeah.
You will know, oh, for this particular project, oh, let this guy handle the logo
Yeah.
design.
Yeah.
For this particular project, oh, the illustration, it
Yeah.
is this person handling it. The
Yeah.
motion design,
Yeah.
you take it on because we know you are good in this thing, and let all of us come together, you know, do this work and then put it out there,
Yeah.
which is very, very good. Now, can you take us through your design process? How is it like when a brand comes to meet you? Oh, we want to redesign our brand identity or want to design new brand identity. How do you go about it? Like from receiving the brief to the final thing.
So yeah, so clients come to us and they say, oh, they want to most people, a lot of people just say, oh, they want maybe their website, they want their website to be better.
Oh,
Or
okay.
I mean, if a lot of them also say they come to that, oh, they want to do a rebrand, or they are
Okay.
starting a new business and they want to like do like the brand design for it. So when they
Yeah.
come like that, we usually a lot of people don't understand what strategy is. But even now, I mean,
Okay.
recently, about in the past 3 4 years, most of our clients understand the importance of brand strategy. So I'm not trying to sell that to them. But yeah, we
Yeah.
just tell them that, oh, this is how we start. Like we need to um, conduct like sprint sessions, like workshops to be able to understand what you're doing and prepare like a brand strategy
Yeah.
document that
Yeah.
could help you. Of course, it's important for you to understand how what you're doing, understand the vision,
Yeah.
um, understand your position, where you are, your target audience,
Yeah.
your core values, the reason why people should care. You understand? And this session is not we trying to create it for them; it's listening to them and then helping them put things in their mind in writing.
Okay.
Do you understand? And
Yeah.
ask them important questions that they could think about and give us really, really honest feedback, honest answers. And then we could now use that to create the brand strategy. So
Yeah.
once that is done, then we understand we have a good understanding of the business, of
Okay.
the brand, of why they're doing what they're doing, of why people care about them. And
Yeah.
then from there we'll pick up design. So design starts like technically after strategy, or
Yeah.
after like we start doing strategy. And then once we get to that phase, we're trying to like everything we've heard, we're trying to listen again and see, okay, which of these is important to our process. So most of the
Okay.
time we're talking about brand personality is super important. You understand?
Oh,
Brand
yeah.
story, super important. Core values, super important. Their target audience, super important.
Yeah.
Um, their positioning, understand, where they are relative to like other industry players, super important. You understand why people should care. What is a unique offering that they are bringing
Yeah.
beyond functional
Yeah.
or speed or price point. What's
Yeah.
the other thing that they're bringing? So
Yeah.
yeah, once we get that, then we start the design process, which is we're trying to put everything together. Like we're trying to like create a statement. We call it conceptual statement. Like, okay, this statement is what guides our entire execution process. So thinking of, oh, when we want to choose color, choose typography, choose design visual system, design
Yeah.
visual devices,
Yeah.
and do all those stuff, do motion, work on illustrations. These are the things that would influence those decisions. You understand? It's like what
Yeah.
you're saying. Okay, this is our anchor for this project. This is the anchor. So once we define that, I mean, of course, it's not just define. At last, you define, you refine. During the process, you are redefining experiment as well. But you always start from a core, which is the brand strategy, and then we start exploring. We start exploring. So how do we bring this to life? How do we communicate this visually? This
Yeah.
abstract idea, this vague idea, this thing that, I mean, if you say to people, what do they see? What do you want them to see? And they say, okay, I get it. You understand? What do they see that puts them in that feeling or in that mind frame that, okay, I get why this brand exists. You understand?
Yeah.
So for instance,
Yeah.
for the bigger organizations, I can explain. If you look at, if you interact with, like, name it, Spotify, Uber, you have an idea of what they are trying to do, why their colors are the way they are. You might not
Yeah.
know it, but what the effect they want that thing to have is having it in you, no matter how small. So we're
Yeah.
trying to say, okay, how do we translate these abstract ideas? How do we translate it to, like, visuals, to, what you see, what you feel? You
Yeah.
understand? And then,
Yeah.
yeah, once we do that, we're trying to expand it, and we carry the client along all through the process. You
Yeah.
understand? Oh, this is what we are doing, this is what we are thinking, this is where our mind is. This is, at times, we even, like, show them, like, sketches to them to know, okay, this is the things that we are thinking about for this project. And
Yeah.
then, um once we get their buy-in on different phases of the project, then we just flesh it out. You understand? Visual system, this color, this that. I mean, this process is not usually smooth. There's
Yeah.
hardly any two projects that goes the same way. You understand? At
Oh
times,
yeah.
we've even done projects that we started from creating the visual system first before we work on the logo design, or the logo design and typography. Like, we created visual system just to. So yeah, so it depends on, like, the context as well, and also depends on the person working on it. So even though we have, like, a process at Fort Canvas, this process also, I mean, is flexible. Like,
Yeah.
the core remains, but the other parts of it, the offshoot from the core, you understand, they
Yeah.
could vary, but the core
Yeah.
remains, and the idea is to get to a very excellent result. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the process. And then get feedback, design guidelines, design templates if possible,
Yeah.
educate the team, educate the people you're handing over to. We have sessions where we just onboard them. Oh, this is what we did, this is how we did what we did. This is a guideline. I mean, even go through the guideline and explain the brand to them. It could be the
Yeah.
marketing team, it could be the design team, it could be, like, the comms team, depending on the structure of the company. But we have to onboard the the client, the people that will take over the work from where we stopped. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that is very very good because we can overemphasize the importance of strategy
Yeah.
before diving into design.
Yeah.
Because some people think, okay, oh, brand design, let me just meet to the client and then let me see, oh, you want a brand identity design. Let me run to Pinterest, look at some
Yeah.
interesting logos and color palettes and everything, and then let me dive straight into doing the work. Yeah.
The thing about what you said now is that when designing, as a brand designer, you're making a lot of decisions on a project.
Yeah.
Many people say, "Oh, I don't know how I got to where I got to. I just got there." Nah,
Yeah, yeah. Some
you
people.
you don't know how you got there, but take a step back, you can probably trace it, because you're making decisions every time.
Yeah,
When you are looking for a typeface for a
yeah,
project, for instance,
yeah,
and then you're scrolling through, like, 50, 100 of typefaces, maybe
yeah,
when you scroll, maybe it's only three or four that you feel like, okay, this can work. Now, why
yeah,
can it work? Because there is something you are looking for
yeah,
that you did not see in the other ones that you see in this one. What is that thing?
yeah,
Try and, so people just say, oh, when I see it, I will know it. No, there's something you're looking for. Like, try and theorize it. Try and
yeah,
break it down and say, okay, I want the typeface to be this. I
yeah,
want a typeface that feels this way. You might not be
yeah,
able to explain how it feels that, but if you put 10 people together and you ask them, how does this typeface make you feel? You probably
yeah,
get a net positive answer
yeah,
from them, or there'll be
yeah,
some things that are common. So yeah, so even those who don't do strategy, as in strategy, there's a reason why they're making the decisions that they're making.
yeah,
You understand? So when you don't do, when maybe it's a freelance project, it's a low scale project, it's just maybe 50K, 100K, even maybe 500K, but It's nothing. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And then you just go ahead, but you ask them questions. You ask the
Yeah.
client questions. You're trying to
Yeah.
understand their business. They tell you that, oh, our business, so this is how we want to do it. This is why I started this thing. That
Yeah.
is strategy.
Yeah.
That is you understanding what the client is saying, understanding why they're doing what they're doing, and that's where it starts from. So
Yeah.
there is hardly a design project that you don't make decisions. You cannot do design without making decisions. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Like it is not possible. You're choosing color, you're choosing typeface, you're choosing layout, you're choosing this, you're doing this, you're choosing element. Even when you go to Pinterest to search, there's some things you see and you don't look at them twice. You move on.
Yeah.
Why? Because it doesn't look like what you are looking for. So there
Yeah.
is it's not possible. It's just that at times designers are just not we don't pay attention to
To those
to
things.
to those things. I'm just like, oh, I just feel like, hey, it just works. What do you feel like? That feeling, articulate it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is you just gave a very, very good point right now.
Yeah.
Like, because the truth is, when you see it, you know why you want to use that.
Yeah.
And the truth is, even after creating it, there are some times whereby we create things, right? We might say, oh, I don't know, I just feel it's good, right? But when
Exactly.
you want to present it to the client, you then go put it together, create a rationale, detailing, explaining why it is good. So
Yeah.
that means you actually know the reason why you use it. But
Exactly.
you're not just
You
paying
just didn't
attention
pay
to the
attention.
reason why.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't just pay attention to the reason why you use it, which is really good. There was something you said, right? You talked about, even before beginning the design process and all, that you get an anchor, right?
Yeah.
And that anchor is what you use to, create the design system, the brand identity design and all. Can you give an example of, let's say, a project you worked on and what the anchor was and how you were able to, expand it to actually create other systems?
So number.
Okay.
So number projects. I can't even remember the conceptual statements, but yeah, I think I should be able to. I may not get the exact statement, but let me just explain through it. So for number, it was. I mean, number is as at the time that I worked on the project.
Yeah.
They were an agency banking platform, agents, POS, and the likes.
Yeah.
But they were trying to move into merchant banking, and then
Okay.
for that, what we got, what they told us was that this is a brand or a product that'll be everywhere. Like, for instance, you don't know when you use POS, you don't even ask for what brand of POS you're using.
Yeah,
You
you
just
just
open your
use the
card
PS
and
and
collect your
collect your
money. So
money.
you don't even really know. But everybody has probably interacted with a number POS or
Yeah,
agent.
I've seen numbers in some
Yeah,
places.
like I mean, when they were coding on their number, so you probably
Yeah.
seen it. So one keyword we use was ubiquity, which means everywhere, everybody,
Yeah.
anybody can use
Oh.
number.
Yeah.
Like, so one of the keywords we worked on was ubiquity, and then one of the statements that we came up with at that time was, this project was 4 years ago.
Wow.
2021. 2021, 2022. So 3-4 years ago. One of our, so once we do conceptual statements, which could be abstract and aspirational, we now create metaphors. We call them metaphors.
Okay.
Metaphors are I don't even know why I can't remember this statement. I'll probably look for it. So we call them metaphors. Metaphors are like words that you could words that you can see, you can visualize. So for instance, when they say maybe conjugal statement is maybe living in a flux, for instance. Let's say that's conjugal statement, living in a flux. Now that is, you can picture it, but it's still a bit abstract. But when you go to the metaphors, you're thinking of living in a flux, maybe circular motion.
Yeah.
You understand? Maybe water running through a pipe. In that sense. So you're trying to be a bit literal. So one of our metaphors then was left, right, up, down, everywhere.
Wow.
That was one of his answers. Like, oh, let's write up down
Let's
everywhere.
write them down everywhere.
Yeah, and that was how the logo came about. So we're like, okay, what is that element that points you in different directions? What
Yeah.
is, and we know, okay, when you get to a junction is a what's it called? Is a meeting point of different people, different things. Maybe
Yeah.
for instance, Yaba, that Yaba on
Yeah.
that bridge, like
Yeah.
people from different parts they meet at Yaba.
Yeah.
Maybe you're coming from Yaba, you're going to, let's say, Surulere. Yeah, you probably pass through the Yaba bridge. You
Yeah.
understand? You're coming
Yeah.
from Maryland, you're going to the island, probably pass through the Yaba
Yeah.
bridge. You
Yeah.
understand? So we're like, okay, what is that thing that brings this to mind?
Yeah.
And then we thought about the crossroad signage, which was what the logo was built from. Which is, oh, when you
Wow.
get to a focal point, you're trying to
Yeah.
look for the, okay, what points in different directions. So there is
Yeah.
the crossroad sign. There is a crossroad sign that says, okay, this road to Ojota, this road to Oshodi, this road
Yeah.
to, you understand, this road to the airport. So yeah, those
Yeah.
things, that was what we built the logo from. So it was a literal example of how we moved from the conceptual statement to metaphors to
Yeah.
sketches. So what we do is that once we get the metaphors, we just start tinkering up ideas. Oh, so
Oh,
this
okay.
this metaphor, what comes to your mind? How do you visualize it? You understand? So
Yeah.
yes, that was that example for number. Which other project? So the thing is that at the moment I'm not involved in like the actual execution of projects again, like I
Oh,
used to
okay.
be. Yeah,
Yeah.
so probably the last
That's
time I worked on a
yeah.
project directly that I was involved in directly from start to finish executing
Yeah.
it was probably, I mean, a brand example maybe like 2 years ago or
Wow.
thereabout. So yeah, so the things I do at the moment, I do more leadership on projects, just managing the
Yeah.
people, managing the clients,
Yeah. Yeah.
managing the stakeholders, managing, like, making sure that, like, ensuring excellence on those projects. You understand?
Yeah.
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 So yeah, but I think for number, I remember that was how
Yeah.
I remember then. It was, I mean, we didn't have an office then, and then we're just working from, I think it was my house in Fadi. And we just started, oh,
Oh,
we just want to sketch, and okay, there's this crossroad signage, like this X. And then the thing about design ideas is that ideas are always pregnant. Like, so we started. Do you know what the number look? Do you remember what it looks like? The
yeah.
number look.
I
We started
I
from the
remember
crossroad
number look.
signage,
Yeah.
and then we got to letter X.
Wow.
Letter X is number. That's what we look for in
Yeah.
mathematics. Find X.
Yeah.
Find
Find X. I mean,
find
they always
good.
tell you to
So
find
we're like,
X.
okay, from the crossroad signage to letter X to number, and there's also the
Yeah.
greater than sign and the less than sign coming together to form the
Yeah.
X. So like
Yeah.
a lot of things just came out from that single idea that, oh, we're just, and that thing with ideas, like an idea would it has different inroads, different outroads, things both
Yeah.
positive and negative, things
Yeah.
that this thing is bringing this Gemini, this swastika that is probably has
Yeah.
a negative connotation is bringing it to mind, and you just say, oh,
Yeah.
this idea cannot work. You
Yeah.
understand? So you see
Yeah.
people that design the idea and eventually it looks like a penis. You understand? Like, they didn't even know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was
They
not how
didn't
it
even know.
started. They didn't
Yeah.
even see it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the idea. So when you see an idea, and that's why working in a team, especially a team that is diverse, people from different
Yeah.
experiences and different backgrounds, when they see something
Yeah.
like, oh, what does this bring to your mind? The person says, I can see a chicken. I'm like, how did you
And
see it?
you'll be like, how did you see a
Where did
chicken?
this? And when the person now say, oh, I get it. Oh, I can see the chicken. I can see this. I can see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's how we did. That's an example from the number project. I'm trying to open the file and see if I could get the conceptual statement as we
Oh,
used it.
okay.
Okay, yes, this is it. So I can see it now. So our conceptual direction was full of drive, easy to access.
Wow.
Full of drive, easy to access. And then our metaphors were: one, like a convoy; two, pairs of connection; three, open roof carriers; four, left, right, up, down, everywhere.
Everywhere.
And that was how we just, I mean, we developed a lot of sketches. So what we now do, we now pick each of these metaphors, and then we just
Yeah.
say, okay, just what comes to your mind, what are the things that you are thinking of that
Yeah.
connects to where we are coming from, you understand, for this
Yeah.
brand. And then
Yeah.
yeah, from there we just flow. That
Oh,
that
that's
is usually very, very what's that word we use at the Orange Academy? Is non-lateral. It's just everywhere. It's just, I forgot
everywhere.
what we use at Orange. Yeah, it's just it's just rough. So you now
Yeah.
start looking through that. Okay, okay, oh, this idea we can develop it further. Okay, develop it and let's
Yeah.
see what it looks like. Develop it in
Yeah.
maybe motion, like oh,
Yeah.
bring up like iconography style. You understand?
Yeah.
Bring up a pattern, bring up this from it, and let's see where the road leads from there.
Yeah. Very, very, very profound. Very, very good. Now I want to ask: are there like similar? How do I put it? Connections, right? Or things that, no matter the brand design you're doing, are there similar things across any brand you're working on? Like some key things for you to, look out for in your, let's say, your strategy phase, your research phase for a particular brand design project, or everything is just different? There's no similarity between anything.
So I mean, you can say everything is different. You can see there are similarities. It depends on how you're looking at it. So
Okay.
the process is similar.
Yeah.
How do we get to where we are going to? We are making life easier for ourselves by going through. Oh, let's do what's it called? Let's do conceptual statements. Let's do
Yeah.
metaphors. Let's do
Yeah.
sketches. You
Yeah.
understand? Because we're trying to theorize the process. We're trying to say, okay, how when we want to when we now want to revisit it. Let's say we eat a snack. We're like, okay, let's go back.
Yeah.
Where did this problem start from?
Yeah.
Okay, it's from the metaphors. The current
Yeah.
statement is still really good because you work with it. Let's go back to the metaphors and then
Yeah.
let's define new metaphors. Remember a project that we did, we defined metaphors again and again and again and
Yeah.
again. You understand?
Yeah.
And then from the metaphors, we like went back to. So it's just for us to trace back and trace back and trace back. That's why we have a
Yeah.
process. Like I said, the execution of that process could vary from context, from clients, from deliverables, from a lot of things, from the person working on a project, from the designers working on the project, from the person leading the project.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
could 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 vary. You understand? So,
Yeah.
but I mean, to your question about what are the things that like are similar, I think apart from the process, it is a like at the end you want to design something that you are proud of, design something that the client is proud of. If I
Yeah.
design something that the client can that can make the client confident. When you are launching a brand or launching
Yeah.
a product, you understand. There's
Yeah.
something confidence does for you that okay, this is good, this looks
Yeah.
good. You understand?
Yeah.
It's just like maybe you're going for an event and then go to your tailor, you do your measurements, you sew
That
the
thing,
clothes, you buy a shoe,
everything
you
come
buy a
out
cap,
fresh.
buy new frames, you buy
Yeah.
perfume, you go to the barber.
Yeah.
Like you're confident that oh,
Yeah.
I look good. Do you
Yeah.
understand? Like oh, I
Yeah.
look good. Like I
Yeah.
look the parts. Do you understand? Like I've
Yeah.
done my
Yeah.
own homework. Sure
Yeah.
you get. So yeah, another thing is there's a key question that we need to ask, which is
Okay.
why should people care? That we usually ask, like across like strategy. Why should people care? What makes you different from your competitors in a sense of oh, these competitors? I mean, and this answer is usually not functional.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
functional. It's not
Yeah.
oh we are cheaper or the transactions are faster. Okay,
Yeah.
that's probably valid, but it's
Yeah.
not something that is entirely functional.
Yeah.
You understand? There should be something that is emotional, that is a motive,
Oh,
that
okay.
is that people can relate, that is relatable. You understand?
Yeah.
So we try to unearth that thing during the strategy phase, and it also influences how we work on design itself. So yeah, so that key question that we usually answer is why
Yeah.
should people care? Why
Oh,
should
that.
people care? Why should
Yeah.
people care? Why should they care? Why should they why should they look at you twice? Why should they maybe they are, where you're going, and then your eyes just catches something, and then you return it and you're like, what did I just see? And then you go
Yeah.
back. Why should
Yeah.
why should people have that sort of reaction when they encounter your brand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, so now with the age of AI,
Yeah.
and people, some people will come tell you, oh, why do I need a brand designer when I can just go to one website, I'll just put my brand name, have a logo in 3 minutes, or a logo in 1 minute, and things like that. So what now the question is in two parts. Number one, what would you say to people like that? Getting them to understand that, yeah, AI is there, AI is valid, it gives you results, but there is still a lot of things you're not putting in place for your brand identity. And then the other question is to the designer. And people say, oh, this AI thing might want to replace you. You can lose your job if they keep building this thing, this and that. But I see it as a means to an end, right? Something you can even also tap into and try and incorporate into your workflow to make some part of your work faster while you get your results, and you tweak to fit what you want to do and you move on.
So the thing about AI and people that say, "Oh, I can get my logo," anybody that thinks they can get their logo with AI and they'll be fine, just let them get it. Because it's also value. You understand?
Yeah.
It's also value in that sense. Like
Yeah.
the work we do as designers
Yeah.
is like we are mostly connected. We are mostly very connected with our work. A level
Yeah.
of detail we put into it, level of thought, the level of like flexibility, understand the
Yeah.
context, understanding of context, you understand,
Yeah.
the little things that we add that make
Yeah.
the work excellent. These are the things that machines will probably struggle with.
Yeah.
You understand? These are things that artificial intelligence will struggle with. Human intelligence will probably still, human intelligence probably cannot process or cannot take information as machines. But in
Yeah.
terms of like creating, in terms
Yeah.
of, at least not yet, in terms of creating, in terms of, when you see you've probably seen some copies and you're like, what? Who came up with this copy? Like,
Yeah.
was such, like, at those copies, machines will probably, like AI will probably struggle to create
Yeah.
something like that. Why? Because
Yeah.
you are not just using knowledge. There's also some sort of magic that you bring. There's also some sort of, just connecting things that are really not obvious.
Yeah.
Do you understand? There's also
Yeah.
the need for, I'm creating something that is spectacular.
Yeah.
The focus of AI, at least as we have it now, is more about I'm doing something that is good, something that works.
Yeah.
You understand? Designers, copywriters, creatives, we're not doing things that work, we're doing things that are special, that are spectacular.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
how we are thinking.
Yeah.
And then that's why the AI should just help you, should
Yeah.
help you do those things that you shouldn't trouble yourself doing. I read a book like 5, 6 years ago, and probably it was probably a 300-page book. I
Yeah.
can't even remember a lot of things in the book, but it's something I remember because it was
Yeah.
talking about 12 factors that shape our future or something. 12
Okay.
technical factors that shape our future. And the one key thing I said is that he said anything AI can do, then maybe humans shouldn't be doing them in the first place. That's
Wow.
the he said anything AI can do. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not arguing if he's right or he's wrong, but I
Yeah.
think about that a lot. Like, anything AI can do, anything like,
Humans shouldn't be doing it.
maybe humans shouldn't be doing them in the first place. And what happens to the AI is that there's always a shift. So with new technologies, some
Yeah.
existing jobs, some existing way of doing things, they are better. But now
Yeah.
with those new technologies, there's a problem that has been created. So, for instance, 20 years ago, there was nothing like artificial intelligence engineers,
Yeah.
not like machine learning engineers.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. But
Yeah.
now, that's a new job
Yes.
that
People are
didn't
studying machine
exist.
learning,
Yeah,
AI.
like it's a new field. So it's just a shift. So think about it. When we were much younger, we had typewriters.
Yeah.
Like there were people that were called typewriters. That's their
Yeah.
job. Do you have typewriters now? No.
Where you will see them in maybe schools that still keep,
Yeah.
they still want people to learn about the
And they won't
history
even use typewriters. They
yes,
use something else. So it
yes,
means that what it took to operate a typewriter is not the same thing it takes to operate a laptop or
yeah,
to operate a
yeah,
monitor. Do you
yeah,
understand?
yeah,
So it's always a shift. Like it's like when ants gather and they're carrying something, they are just
yeah,
moving little by little. They are moving. So
yes,
it's always a shift. So some
yeah,
jobs are being sunsetted, or maybe
yeah,
that's the right word. Some jobs are being stopped, but
yeah,
other jobs are coming up.
are coming
So
up.
now, funny enough, we now have prompt people that all they do is
Prompt engineers.
prompt engineers. That was a job created by AI. So
Yeah,
as much as possible, I think designers should be curious.
yeah,
You understand? They should use the AI to their advantage.
yeah,
And also observe and see the things that AI is replacing and see how you can be of more value
yeah,
to people.
yeah,
For me, I think what we've seen from AI is that it helps you process a lot of information. It helps you
yeah,
access a lot of data that you probably don't have access to, and then it
yeah,
just brings it to you.
yeah,
You understand? It
yeah,
doesn't help you think. It can
yeah,
bring things in front of you to make the thinking easier, but it won't help you think. You
yeah.
understand? So when you're doing Photoshop now, you open Photoshop and can do content aware to feel
As
some
the
jobs.
interactive
I,
view.
I see it again. I see it like maybe 2 or 3. I'm like, bro, I'm happy because I've never really liked Photoshop. I've never really like loved manipulating and doing. I've
Yeah,
never really liked it. I feel like,
yeah,
oh, I'm happy now with one press. I can do this, do that. You
yeah,
understand? It's making my job
yeah.
easier.
Easier. Yeah,
It's not making the work less. It's making the
yeah,
work easier. So you're probably still doing the hard work in that sense.
yeah,
Do you understand? So after
yeah.
I remove the photo, after I add the generative way and all this, I'll still have to work on the design. You
Yes.
understand? And if
Yeah.
AI is working on the design for you, you are prompting it. And
Yeah.
even at that, you probably won't get I mean, it's textbook knowledge, it's textbook
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah.
You understand? Creativity
Yeah.
is not textbook approach.
Yeah.
So, first, designers, should you be afraid? You can be afraid, but channel the fear properly. Don't,
Yeah.
because of fear, now say, I'm helpless. No, you're not helpless. Like,
Yeah.
be in touch with what is happening. Read, like,
Yeah.
understand the advancements, understand what is happening around you, and then
Yeah.
skill up. If there are things you
Yeah.
need to add to, you need to add to what you're doing, add it. You understand? Use AI, like understand it and use it, like use
Yeah.
it effectively. There's
Yeah.
something that is new, use it. There is
Yeah.
this, explore, like at least be in the know, okay, what this thing can do. So because
Yeah.
now we have people, we have jobs, we have design engineers, and what are they doing? They're probably just operating a particular software, and then from there they could get creatives out. Or probably just inputting something, getting it out. Like,
Yeah.
we have platforms that make your job easier.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But you still
Yeah.
have to do the work yourself, and you still have to learn how to use those platforms. So designers
Yeah.
should focus on the value that they bring
Yeah.
to the table, and then every other thing. Generate picture. What's this platform called that I can generate pictures from that we use on that
Mid-journey.
project that we do? Yeah, Mid Journey, this and that and
Yeah.
that. Yes, use them, explore these things,
Yeah.
and then see how you can also make adjustments to your flow, to your workflow. And then maybe maybe you usually spend time on doing this before, now you're spending less time on that. That time that you're spending less on
Yeah.
it, channel
Yeah.
it to something bigger, channel it
Yeah.
to something much more valuable to your
Yeah.
clients, to your career, to the people that you work
Yeah.
with. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because the truth is, you cannot take away the creative aspect of who you are and
Yeah,
what you're bringing to the project you're working on.
yeah, yeah,
And the AI is just to aid you, make some parts easy, and you still not throwing away your creativity,
yeah, yeah.
still use your creativity to tweak that thing to what you want to see and
Exactly.
what you want to present to
The
your
reason why you
client.
keep putting prompt, oh no, do it like this. Oh no, I
Yeah.
want this background. It's because you know what you're looking for.
Yes.
You're just trying to use the machine intelligence to
Yes.
help you get there. And if you struggle
Yeah.
and you don't get it, you probably just okay, pick what they have and then tweak it further, and then get to where you're
Yes.
getting. So yeah,
Yes.
it makes the job easier. It also moves you, so it moves you up the ladder a bit. That's what it does. Like it's just so when they say anything a machine can do, human shouldn't do. It means that anything machine will do, just move up.
Yeah.
What is the next thing
Just
that
move on.
humans should be doing now? You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
What value can I bring that machines can't, that AI, that artificial intelligence cannot bring to the table? So it's
Yeah.
just like it's just pushing you. It's just moving you up the ladder. Just moving
Yeah.
you up the ladder. You understand? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thank you so much so far. And our time, we have some few minutes left. So now, how would you advise, let's say, a young brand designer that is coming up in the industry? What are the things you actually advise this person to focus on to actually build a very solid career? Because sometimes we now live in the age whereby, I mean, with the way everything is, the economy, things are going this, everybody's like, I want to make more money, I want to make more money, I want to make more money. However, the truth that I've come to realize over some time is that more money comes with more value that you add to yourself and you are adding to others. That's the way you make more money. So, what would you advise a young brand designer coming up who really, really want to build a solid career?
You want to build a solid career as a brand designer. I think a lot of brand
Yeah,
designers now, or a lot of brand designers in our part of the world, they focus on visual design.
yeah,
I think I also fell into that trap
okay,
way early into my career. Like visual design, you just want to do
yeah,
logos, do typography, do layout, do this, do that,
yeah,
do that. There is
yeah,
that's what you're focusing on. But I think for a younger designer, brand designer,
yeah,
you need to be curious and learn a lot of things. Brand design is that
okay,
is area of design that can work with anybody, work anywhere. Like
yeah,
product design, it requires branding. Product.
okay,
Physical
yeah,
design, there's branding.
yeah.
Experiential design, there is branding. There
There's
is a sort
branding.
of brand design. So you need to
Yeah,
learn about all of these other parts. So as a brand designer just starting out, learn animation, learn motion, learn
okay,
illustration, learn 3D, learn sound
yeah,
design, learn photography,
yeah, yeah,
learn product design, understand how UI UX, understand the language,
yeah,
understand how the device works, understand how the software works, you
yeah,
understand like the entire ecosystem. So I'm not saying you should be able to do all of them like in terms of like executional strength,
yeah.
but at
Understand.
least understand how it works and
Yeah,
learn more than visual design.
yeah,
See, the average brand designer, so there is a checklist, for instance. There's visual design, that's the
yeah,
typography, color, logo, and all those stuff. There is
yeah,
motion,
yeah,
there's illustration,
yeah,
there's 3D. There's
yeah.
also another part that people don't talk about it, or it's called art direction. Art
Art direction,
direction for brand, like art direction for advertising, art direction for branding, like art
advertising.
direction for brand
Yeah,
design.
yeah.
Now, see, for me, that's like a checklist for me for
Okay.
brand designers. A lot of
Yeah,
people, this visual, they've learnt it. Oh, designing logos, constructing logos, um, um, designing layouts, visual device, which is good.
yeah,
But
yeah,
at least two of these other four. Actually, art direction is also something you cannot do without. Art direction, I mean, it looks abstract, but at least you
yeah,
need to learn how art direction, how you could infuse art direction to, because it's a no-brainer.
yeah,
Art direction is super important in brand design. Then
yeah,
you have to pick one of motion, illustration, or 3D and be good at it. So if
yeah,
I'm if someone just signing at brand design, I say you want to be a brand designer. Brand design is difficult. Like a brand design role. with brand design roles, with the what's it called,
The job
with the
description.
job description, and you see that they expect a lot more from you.
Yeah,
And this, like motion is a different thing, it's a different field, it's a different career. Motion
yeah,
designer,
yeah.
illustrator,
It's
different
a
career.
different career.
Film designer, different career. Art director,
A
different
director,
career.
different career.
Now, brand design wants you to be able to do three
Everything.
things. So, as someone that is just starting, you need to know what you are getting yourself into and be
Yeah,
very curious.
yeah,
You have to learn. Another thing is that you have to expose your mind.
yeah,
Exposure is crazy. Like,
yeah,
you need it
yeah,
because that's exposure is so important as to a designer, not even brand design, to a designer, even to anybody in life.
yeah,
Exposure is so important. Like, you need to understand what good looks like.
yeah,
You need to understand what great work looks like.
yeah,
You need to understand when people say, "Oh, we're doing," when maybe when Google rebranded, this
yeah,
company rebranded. You need to understand what it is that is in that thing that they did that is
yeah,
good enough for a global
yeah,
organization.
yeah,
Do you understand? So
yeah,
you need to understand. You need to expose your mind, even when you can't work at that level, even when you can't operate at that level. You need to understand what it takes to be at that level, because that will be your that's a benchmark.
yeah,
You understand? I remember before, maybe like 5 6 years ago, that um I I had a lot of brand guidelines. I love brand guidelines. I love designing brand guidelines. I've not designed any. I mean, in terms of like designing brand guidelines in like 1 or 2 years, but I
yeah,
love designing guidelines.
yeah. Okay.
And one thing was that anytime I say guideline, I will look at it. I would study. Like, I'm trying to see what. I mean, I'm trying to get into the mind of the designer. I'm not just seeing what the person did. I'm trying to say, okay,
Yeah,
why did he do it like this?
yeah,
Do you understand? Why did he do
yeah,
it like this? Why did he make this decision?
yeah,
Do you understand? Why is this
yeah,
thing important to be in this guideline?
yeah,
So for me, before I mean, I think I've probably designed about 3 or 4 guidelines. I could say take this guideline anywhere in the world.
yeah,
I think it meets the standard.
yeah,
But before then, I was, I was, I couldn't work. I couldn't operate at that level, but I knew what it required.
yeah,
I knew what it took to be there. I'm just
yeah,
not there in terms of like experience and execution and maybe the quality of the client or project.
yeah,
But at some point that the opportunity came, I took it, and then, do you understand? So yeah, exposure is super important. Super,
yeah,
super important.
yeah. So thank you for sharing this. And even there are some things you said. Yeah, I know I don't work in the brand design industry, but I can still see a connection no
Yeah,
matter the industry you're working in. Even when you're working in advertising, your clients sometimes will come and say, "Oh, we want to do an event. We need
yeah,
branding for this event." And you are the creative agency, so you guys come up with something for us.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
even you as an art director, as a senior art director, you have to wear the brand designer's
yeah,
cap
yeah,
and be
yeah,
like, okay, how can I brand this thing? What feeling do I want people to feel when they see this thing?
yeah,
Oh, this particular wall. How do we do it in a way that it tells the brand story, people connect with it, it's
yeah,
right for
yeah.
the event and everything. So everything is connecting together if you look at it in a way. So thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you
Thanks
being on
for having
here,
me.
sharing. I mean, you shared a lot of things, a lot of gems. I can't even wait to put this out for people to see. Thank you so much,
Amazing,
and
amazing.
enjoy the rest of your day. We
Yeah,
appreciate you
thank
being
you.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Have an amazing day as well.
and you too.